What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western York Wednesday here on the channel, and the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Thin Man Brewery, and they are out of Buffalo, New York, and this is their Then We War. So they're calling this one an American lager that comes in at 4.9% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 4.5 weeks old. So this is actually a collaboration with Every Time I Die, which is an American metalcore band from the Buffalo, New York area. And I'm not going to sit here and BS you and be like, oh, I know a lot about them and their music and so on and so forth, because I don't. The only reason I actually know who Every Time I Die is because of one of their guitarists, Andy Williams, is also a professional wrestler. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and he goes by the name The Butcher as a wrestler. He is one half of the tag team of The Butcher and The Blade. They are signed to All Elite Wrestling, aka AEW, and that's how I know about Every Time I Die. Now on the side here it says idiot, spelled E-T-I-D-I-O-T-S, so that must be like what they refer to their fans as. It says, that's just who we are. It's who we are. And yeah, I really like the artwork on this one. Really sweet. When I looked this beer up on Untappd, there was a lot of people with the hashtag, I believe it was Tid the Season instead of Tis the Season, which I'd imagine stands for Every Time I Die, you know, idiots, the whole nine. So yeah, like I said, I don't know much about them, but if somebody out there listens to their music, let me know if there's any songs I should listen to, because I'm always open to everything when it comes to music. And I feel like maybe I'd like some of their music. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to pour into the hashtag proper glassware and go from there. So I feel like this is going to be a lager that everyone can enjoy, from craft beer drinkers to non-craft beer drinkers. I believe that's probably what they're going for. Makes sense anyway. So yeah, that has a nice hazy straw golden color. Could be chill haze, but I think it's just a little bit, probably like an unfiltered lager. Has about a finger and a half of a bright white, really creamy looking head. Looks beautiful for like a 4.9% American lager. Yeah, nice. Let's get a nose. Yeah, so it smells like your typical standard, like almost 5% lager. It's grainy, has a slight corny tinge, but more of like a grain. Hint of like lemon, maybe like soda crackers, stuff of that nature. Smells like it's going to be a little bit sweeter. Touch of a floral tinge, a little bit of like lager funk in there. Smells like it's going to be really super refreshing. Like there's no off flavors in the nose. I'm going to inhale the nose. Yeah, it smells really easy going. Like, again, that's probably what they're going for, and I've, based on the nose, they pretty much hit the nail on the head. Let's get a taste of it. So cheers, everyone. It's really nice, actually. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is a beer that is for me, pure definition of a fridge beer, especially from a craft brewery. You want to grab this, you want to grab a couple 4-packs, throw them in the fridge. Somebody comes over who's not a craft beer fan, or maybe just dabbles a little bit, this will satiate any kind of hankering they have for a lager or any kind of just beer. Body in this one's like medium body, which is really nice for 4.9. It's not watery, it's not super thin. The mouth feels super crisp. Really, I would say relatively clean. There's a little bit of like a lingering bitterness. So it's clean. There's no off flavors, but like there's like a slight lingering bitterness. Very effervescent. Tons of spritzy carbonation. The taste, though, very simplistic. I mean, right up front, I hit with a blast of malt sweetness. It has that soda cracker, almost grainy type of malt sweetness to it. Maybe a touch of like a corn. I don't know if they're using corn. I don't know if this is like an adjunct lager where they're brewing this with corn or rice or something, but it has really crisp kind of nature to the entire beer. I would guess more rice, but I doubt they would probably say this is like some kind of rice lager. Probably just straight malt. But that hits right at the forefront. Middle of the palate to maybe 3/4 of the way through the palate. There's a slight bitterness that kicks in. It's mild, but it has this floral kind of, slightly earthy kind of hop bitterness. And that finishes on the palate. Mild bitterness, semi-dry finish, not too sweet, not too bitter, not too dry, pretty well balanced, super crushable. Like I said, I'm taking this down with relative ease. Yeah, it's solid. For what it is, it's solid. Now, Beers like this, I typically do the stylistic rating in comparison to what I personally feel, and typically the style rating will get higher, right? And it will in this situation. A beer like this, stylistically, if you're just going for like an American craft lager, like generic, this is like a 4.5 out of 5. This is really good, no off flavors. I really like the crisp kind of overall feeling to the mouthfeel, but just the beer in general. I like that it has a little bit of a lingering bitterness, which I think if you're somebody who's maybe just a regular American adjunct lager drinker, that might be a little bit too much for you, but I don't know. I think it would be a nice beer to introduce to somebody trying to get into craft and trying a little bit more hop forward beers. This is slightly more hop forward than something like that, but it's not huge on the palate. It's very noticeable to me. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for that all day stylistically. Personal rating, I'm going to give Then We Wore, a collaboration between Thin Man and Every Time I Die, right? Every Time I Die. I'm going to give that a high 3.75 out of 5. I'm going to go 3.85 out of 5. I think that's a really good beer for what it is. I mean, most beers like this, when they're well made, I typically give like no higher than like a 3.5, 3.75 typically max. I think this is one of the better craft brewed lagers I've had recently. It's so, like I said, so easy to drink. And here's the thing, price point availability. Price point on this one, I believe, was $10 a 4-pack. Yeah, that's what it should be when you're talking about craft and 16-ounce cans. If this was in a 6-pack, should be like probably 10 to 12 bucks, but in a 12-ounce cans. 4-pack of 16-ounce pounders, 10 bucks a 4-packs, great. And availability, wherever you see Thin Man, they get distro. And a lot of places, here's the thing though, maybe you won't see this in your neck of the woods if you get Thin Man and you're in like Pennsylvania or Ohio. They get a lot of distro. I know a good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber, Tyler, over at South 10 Beer Reviews, or South 1020, totally not. He has seen some Thin Man down in his neck of the woods, I think in like northwest Georgia and whatnot. So hopefully this gets distro. I don't know if this is a one-off and just a collaborator. This is going to be something that they like make every so often, like a rotating offering, but it's a fucking good lager. Not much more to say about it. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. If you listen to Every Time I Die, and like I said, I'm not saying this just to say this, if you like the band and you want to recommend some songs or maybe an album or something for me to listen to, I will totally take that suggestion and run with it, because I always love trying listening to different music, new music, things maybe I'm not familiar with. And yeah, that's all I got. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Check back next Wednesday for another West New York Wednesday. Until the next one, cheers. Oh yeah, 4.9% totally. I mean, it drinks like a 4.9% lager. That's what we're here for. Cheers.